Hey, this is John Nelson with Elite Level Performance, and this is a bro tip on how to use bands and chains. Now, bands and chains are forms of accommodating resistance. Accommodating resistance was really popularized by Louis Simmons, although there was a doctor who kind of brought bands to Louis Simmons, but I can't really remember that individual's name. But nevertheless, Louis Simmons really kind of brought it to the forefront. Now, the point of accommodating resistance is to help you eliminate bar deceleration. Although they do look really cool for social media posts, there's actually a purpose behind them. Now, bar deceleration, what that is the literature shows that at the top end of a movement, our bodies naturally slow the bar down. And that's not really something we can beat. No matter how hard we try, our body is going to slow that bar down in an effort to conserve energy. And so what bands and chains do is they help us to eliminate that bar deceleration and work through that range of motion. All right. So we're going to go over how to use chains first and then bands. So chains, when you're using chains, you need to have the big chain and then you have to have a supporting chain. That's really important. You do not put chains on like this. That is not correct. You also may see chains that have like a clamp on them like this, and that clamp goes on the bar. That's not correct either. You have to have the supporting chain for that. So what ends up happening is when you hook them up, I like to hook mine through like this. You can also drape it over, that's okay. But what's going to happen here is you're going to need to kind of measure and figure out what the distance is going to be at the bottom of the lift. Okay, so let's just say this is the top of my lift in a squat. Okay, what's going to happen is as you go down, this big chain has to fully deload onto the ground. That is extremely important. So when you go down, the big chain has to fully deload, and then as you come up, it gets heavier. So if you got 315 on here, it's 315 as you go down. So at the bottom, we're 315. As we come up, extra weight's added. And so if each chain is, 20 pounds, you've got an extra 40 pounds total at the top of the lift. So that's the point in chains, all right? And that's how you set them up. Bands are a little bit different. Bands, you can set up a number of different ways. So you could, say the weight plate is right here. The band's going to go on the outside. You can hook the band up around the hooks down here. You could double them up like this. There's all kinds of ways that you can hook them up. The big difference with bands and chains, though, is that bands create an overspeed eccentric. And the eccentric is going to be the lengthening, all right? So like in a squat, it'll be the down portion. In the bench press, the down portion. Bicep curl, down portion. So bands will create an overspeed eccentric and shoot you down really fast. That's going to lead to an increase in kinetic energy, but it's also going to lead to an increase in soreness as well. Bands are a great tool, but in my personal opinion, they really shouldn't be used until you're a little bit more advanced, all right? If you want to use chains, okay, that's fine after you've reached a certain level of strength, but bands, to truly use them, you need to have a pretty solid baseline strength and some solid training experience. You don't need to be a young, 13, 14, 15-year-old kid, trying to squat a ton with a ton of band tension. That's just not good. A little bit at a time is okay. Hopefully your coach knows what they're doing. So again, with bands and chains, they're going to help you eliminate bar deceleration because as you go up, there's going to be more weight or tension added. With the bands, it'll shoot you down faster, so make sure you have a spotter with that, and make sure you're experienced in how to use them, because when you unrack it, it will shoot you down quick. That is the summary of how to use bands and chains. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below, and that's it. Thanks.